Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you've had a good week so far. We've got Steven here looking to know what pay-to-play websites they should try and if this demo is good for corporate work. We'll talk about all that, the difference between corporate and commercial, what's working well, what's not, what we can improve upon. If you would like to send a sample of your own, there's a form in the description. It's free. You can do it anytime. If you'd like to jump the wait list, Steven here's been waiting for a few months. You can join the Booth Buddies down below. It supports these efforts, gives you priority access, and you can submit more than once to this subscriber feedback. There's also coaching on my website if that's more your speed. Let's hear what we got for Steven here. Steven, this is a 2-minute demo, so I may skip around a little bit, but we'll take a listen to each of these 4 spots and break down stuff.
The Singapore Airlines App Challenge is an exciting opportunity for innovators, developers, and startups to push the boundaries of travel technology. Participants will tackle real-world challenges, collaborate with industry experts, and develop groundbreaking solutions that could shape the future of aviation. Ready to make an impact on the future of air travel? Register now and take your ideas to new heights.
Great start. That's a good corporate spot for your thing.
Nabisco variety snack packs make snack time more exciting with a delicious mix of classic favorites. The crunchy goodness of Ritz, the chocolate and creamy delight of Oreo, and the sweet cinnamon hug of Teddy Grahams all come together in one convenient package. Perfect for lunchboxes, road trips, or a midday treat. These packs offer something for everyone.
That's a good point of contrast. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about it, but a good contrast in tone, at least, to the first one.
Whiskey lovers, come pay us a visit at the Jack Daniel's Distillery for an unforgettable experience, where our distilling team will personally guide you through a tasting to find the perfect barrel.
Okay, I'm going to skip to the last one real quick.
UNESCO and the World Meteorological Organization have officially launched the International Year of Glaciers Preservation, a global initiative aimed at raising awareness and driving action to protect the world's rapidly melting glaciers.
Okay, great start. One thing really quick, Steven, I turned down the volume on your demo here a little bit just for the sake of this YouTube video so I don't have to level everything in post, but it was great to start with. Solid start. You've got a great instinct, I think, for what a corporate sound is, but I think particularly the first sample here and the last one, the first and fourth, are more in the corporate sphere. These middle 2 are more commercial. So let's talk a second about corporate versus commercial for all of us, for the sake of everything here. Corporate spots tend to be business to business or B2B, whereas commercial stuff is business to consumer or business to customer, B2C. Those will be 2 acronyms you'll see out there here and there. And the difference between the 2 that's relevant for us as the voice artists behind them, corporate stuff is, you've nailed the corporate tone here. And I would probably recommend swapping out the commercial spots that you have here for more corporate spots, purely by virtue of the text, because the text itself is a little confused when we get to the corporate stuff. Why specifically? Because corporate spots are either going to be internal, meaning within a company. So say, Microsoft has a new system that they're implementing and they want everybody on the team to be on the same page, or if there's a hiring training portion where they need people to know certain new policies within the company, stuff like that, those will be internal, and that's sort of the business talking to their own people. That'll never see the light of day and stuff. And so it's just sort of peer-to-peer interpersonal. Business to business is a little bit more technical, a little bit higher level, meaning I don't have to sell people on the aspects of the thing, why it's so cool, blah, 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 that may build into it. But the main thrust of corporate stuff is going to be, hey, you as another company, here's a solution to something within there. And we can get more in the weeds about stuff. So you'll get more technical language that a couple of these spots had. And it has a little bit more air of authority. And it doesn't have to have that pizzazz or zip necessarily, because people are going to be inherently searching for this thing more often than not. That's a generalization somewhat, but that's kind of a way to break down corporate stuff. Whereas commercial stuff, it's got that zip pizzazz because it's going to be broadcast to the average person rather than somebody who's already looking for something. So a commercial may be for, I mean, like this, cookies, Nabisco. We don't need to get technical. Like at Nabisco, we use these high quality ingredients to do this in our manufacturing process. They don't care about that. We just want to know about the taste of the cookie and if it's going to be, helpful or what we're looking helpful. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, so that's kind of the difference between corporate and commercial. And in your demo here, Stephen, these middle two would fall under the commercial category. And I would probably recommend finding text that's a little bit more under the corporate sphere, simply because in the context of this larger demo here, it just gets a little confused. Additionally, because you're edging into, whether by design or not, because your performance is very corporate in tone, in pace, in affect, and the music underneath stuff is pretty corporate in the way it sounds. It's kind of confusing with the text of these middle two spots because they're so commercial in nature. And I think it would just be better for you in this spot if you had text that was more in line with the first and fourth spot, where we get like just language like this.
UNESCO and the World Meteorological Organization have officially launched the International Year of Glaciers Preservation.
Now, admittedly, this sounds a little bit like a PSA type thing that you would hear on like PBS or something. And I think that the tone of it works, and it's just technical enough that I think it works for corporate. This first one, however, is firmly in the corporate realm.
The Singapore Airlines App Challenge is an exciting opportunity for innovators, developers, and startups.
Like innovators, developers, and startups, we've already exited the realm of just the average consumer. This may be a commercial ad that's targeting those specific demographics, but it rings more corporate to me in that sense because of the nature of the text. But Nabisco and Jack Daniels, definitely not corporate. Anyway, so that would be my thoughts there. And the music underneath these sounds corporate.
Nabisco Variety Snack Packs make snack time more exciting with a delicious mix of classic favorites.
And what I mean by the corporate sound of the music, it's just kind of like, wow, listen to this wonderful thing. It doesn't sound like, it's very tame and digestible, no pun intended, music. Whereas commercial music tends to have a little bit more emotion or kick behind it that will drive to a specific thing. So I would imagine like Nabisco would be a little bit more peppy or something like that, rather than this fairly tame music.
Nabisco Varieties.
And to be clear, I don't think that it's a bad music choice, but it just doesn't sound, it sounds a little bit off for the ad itself.
Whiskey lovers, come pay us a visit at the Jack Daniels Distillery for an unforgettable.
And to the point of the commercial stuff, I know you're targeting corporate, and I think you've just got the corporate tone down. So I'm going to talk about your commercial read here, hinging on that a little bit more. This is actually, in thinking about it, the difference between corporate and commercial is corporate, there can be a little bit of an emotional distance to it, whereas a commercial thing, we really want it to be leaning forward. So corporate can be kind of like, here's this great thing, look at this board that I've got behind me and all these great features that we're laying out for you and how it's all going to work really great. So in this, it's like, Jack Daniels, come see our distillery here. We've got all these great options, and doesn't that look lovely? Whereas ideally, or if I were to direct you in a commercial, it would be more so, hey, you whiskey lovers, come on down. We've got this great distiller and you love this. And it's just a little bit more engaged and interpersonal in the sense that I'm like talking to you specifically rather than just sort of a broad, hey, look at all these different things. I'm engaging with you a little bit more. I don't know, man. But yeah, overall, really, really solid. Last note that I'll say here with respect to your demo, and then I'll talk about your pay-to-play sites question. If you're going to present this whole thing as a 2-minute clip, firstly, I would recommend using each of these samples individually as 30-second spots, have the split up that way rather than compiled together. If you want to compile them together like this, I would cut it down to a minute. So have, half of this, or edit the text so it's a shorter spot, and splitting between things a little bit more quickly, because we can understand the tone of your performance and that you're capable of that very, very quickly. Listeners are very intelligent in that way. So we can just condense things to a minute for a full demo read and use each of these longer spots as individual samples for pay-to-play sites. Last thought that I just remembered, also in your demos, try to keep your corporate BBC-esque accent with glaciers is quite good, to the point where I'm not, as is your American accent here. So I'm not sure which is your native accent, which is good, at least in my cursory listen. However, I would say to keep your accents keep them consistent. So don't swap accents in the middle of a demo. So you can have both a UK and a US accent in your repertoire. I do, but I would keep them in separate demos if you're going to do a compilation thing. With respect to pay-to-play sites, the way that I typically recommend to people, this has shifted a fair amount in recent years just because the market has become quite saturated. But what I usually offer to people or recommend to folks is there are lots of different places. I went the shotgun method where I just tried everything. And if I wasn't gaining traction somewhere, I would evaluate and drop that if it wasn't bearing fruit or it was costing me too much time or I didn't enjoy it. So places like Fiverr were really, really challenging for me, and I didn't stay there long. I maybe tried that for 6 months and just wasn't enjoying myself, so I stopped. Additionally, Fiverr has a fair amount of stigma behind it in the mid to upper echelons of the voiceover and production communities, which I won't get into depth on, but there's Upwork, and those are kind of like base level entry things. But the ones that I recommend for folks, they're the two big players, voices.com and Voice123. Voices.com used to be the place that I would recommend wholesale. Hey, y'all, for beginners, try this out, because you can audition for anything and everything, and you can kind of dictate how you receive auditions there. You have a little bit more control on that kind of thing. I have a video detailing all of that, so I won't go into depth there. But it's more beginner friendly strictly because you're not penalized for auditioning a lot. Whereas on Voice123, you're a little bit more I feel like it's better suited for people who are further in their careers. So if that fits you, Stephen, then that might be a decent option. Reason being, you are penalized for auditioning a lot, because if the way your ranking goes up on Voice123 is people like your audition, that increases your visibility, as does paying more money, which is typically something that only professionals that have pretty successful businesses are able to stomach. The scale for that is pretty intense. The top level is $5,000 a year on Voice123, and people do good work there. So that's like the upper tier. But voices.com is good for beginners. Voice123 is good for broader stuff. Bodalgo is a great place if you're EU based, if you're multilingual, that can also be really great. And those are kind of the 3 big pay-to-play sites that I used, at least. So hope that's helpful for you, my friend. Great work on this. Anyway, I feel like I said a lot of stuff and I can't remember at the moment. But until the next one, everybody, be well, and I'll see you there. Toodle.